Hey, what's wrong with you, man? You ain't subscribed yet? IUIC Atlanta Burning 2.0. What you waiting on? Get it done. Do it now.
Hey, get them clicks, get them likes, and subscribe. Do it now.
Question that we always ask our people: what do you call yourself? What's your nationality?
Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping.
I say,
no subscription.
No, African.
Get started today.
African descent. Young man, what you call yourself?
Black.
Black. Sir, what you call yourself?
By the same, African American.
African American, black. Some people just say Negro. Hell, even some people just call themselves niggas at this point, right? All right. So there's a problem. All of our people, we know that we're somebody, but we don't know who we are. What we know is through this Bible that we had in all our lives. Our grandma had these Bibles, right? That's our true identity. We are the Israelites according to the Bible. That's who we are. But a lot of people don't know that. That's why we're going with this lost identity. We lost it through slavery. Let's read Deuteronomy 28. All right? Throughout the Bible, it's talking about us. God of Israel is for us. Okay? So let's read that. Verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now, this is Moses, a black man speaking. All right? He's talking to the Israelites. Israelites are the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the Bible when you read about it. Okay? The descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are your so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Why I say that? Because what we just read in Deuteronomy 28:15, Moses spoke to these people and said, God has chosen you guys to keep his laws, statutes, commandments, to follow his ways. Now, if you don't do that, I got some consequences for you. Now, the reason why he said that is because Deuteronomy 7:6, real quick. Let me show you something about the Israelites, your people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Let's read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
So God says the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who don't know who they are, who call themselves blacks, who call themselves Negroes, who call themselves whatever the name that we just received from somebody else, another nation. God said, y'all are a holy people. Y'all are chosen. Read.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
So God says, you, my man, you are special unto God. Willie, you special unto God. Right? So now if we special unto God, God is dealing with us. We can't just live any type of way that we want to live, right? We can't just do our own thing, right? We have to live by what God wants us to do. His standards. We can't just do what we want. We're special. Read.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Now, one thing that black people do, we always trying to push equality. We trying to be equal as with everybody else. But what did God say?
Thou God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Is that equal with everybody else? When it says above all people?
No.
No? What about you, young man? Does that mean equal? No, not at all. That doesn't mean equal. So God said you're supposed to be above all people, but are we? No. Right? We hoorah and hooray about Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl, but are we on top? No. We still at the bottom. We still, the DEI, the whole situation with the DEI situation. We thought that was something that was supposed to be given to us, but at the end of the day, think about it. Why do we need DEI? Why do we have to go through the whole, you know the DEI, right? You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm glad I asked. Sir, Willie, you know what DEI is?
Yeah.
Y'all familiar with it? So whenever you fill out a job application, at the end of the job application, there's a DEI asking, are you black, Hispanic, white, do you have any disabilities, anything like that. What they do is, what the law was, is that the certain jobs have to have a certain amount of black people at a job.
Didn't know that.
You didn't know that? oh, okay. We, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, was given that so that we can at least have an opportunity to get the jobs that these so-called white men got. Now they're taking that away. Trump taking that away. But the thought process about, damn, we really needed that. Why did we need to have that law established for us? Should we just be equal like everybody been saying we are? That's not the case. Go to Deuteronomy 28:15. So God says that we are supposed to be above all people, but we at the bottom. We the one that live in the poor neighborhoods in Warner Robins, Macon.
Why you think it's like that?
We're going to go to it right now. I'm going to show you right now. All right? So again, like I said, God said that we are the chosen people. But we're not living as such. We living like the scum. Right? Now, verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Now, verse 15, we went over. Moses, a black man, spoke to the Israelites, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. He spoke to y'all and said, if you do not keep God's commandments because y'all chosen, God gonna curse you. Curses are the worst thing you ever want. Right? Now he's going through the list of the curses. Verse 16 is one of the first curses. Read it again.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Now, Willie, you ask, why is that? What does it mean to be cursed in a city? What does that mean? God says, if you not keep my commandments, Willie, I'm going to curse you in the city.
So you think that's like the present situation that we're dealing with right now? You think that's what we're dealing with?
That is what we're dealing with. Let me ask you this question. How are we cursed in the city?
I think a lot of our problem when it comes to black community, it stems from like social engineering.
Social engineering.
Oh, yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
I mean, then you have like slavery. The Willie Lynch theory, like one of the most detrimental things that ever probably been written. You know what I'm saying? So. And it's in effect to this day. There's so many different sectors, man. That so many different factors that go into the way that we are. Yes, sir. I think it kind of like, and I don't say this like in a way that's gonna kind of like put anybody down, but I think it's a little bit beyond like religion, man. Okay. I'm glad you said something about that. First off, the first thing you said, the social engineering, the Willie Lynch, I forgot what else you said, but a lot of that stems from the other nations doing that to us. God used them to put that upon us because of the curses that we're in. So what you're saying is right. What you're saying is right, but to understand that it is of God who allowing this to happen to us. That's a lot of people disconnect from. People would think that God, He allowed us to live in the poor cities. God, He the one that allow young children to be fatherless homes. God, He the one. People be thinking because they have this image right here, if you can see, of who their God is, what we was taught. This has been a lie all our lives. The God of the Bible is the God of Israel. And just like any other father, He loves their children. But if your children get out of line, what you going to do? You're going to punish them. You're going to punish them. So that's what we're going back to saying. This is the reason why. God is the reason why we're going through the situation, but it's really because of our fault, because we broke God's commandments. We're supposed to be the ones living a certain life, which is keeping God's commandments, like thou shalt not kill. But in Warner Robins, we're killing senseless. Right? Thou shalt not commit adultery. It's all over the world. But yeah, amongst our people specifically, you're right. And that's why you see it. Not only in America, South America, Africa, when we in Europe, we going through the same thing. All our people are going through the same thing, just like the people in America. Oppression. So now, when it says, and back to the point, say religion, this is not religion based. No. I just want to make sure that we are clear. What you see right here is not religion. This is nationality. We're showing our people who we are. We're coming back to our true identity. Everything that we learn in America is not our true identity. This is not our custom. This is not our culture. Hip-hop is not really our culture, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Everything that we received in America was forced upon us. So who were we before that? So let's read that, verse 16 again. Verse 16, cursed shalt thou be in the city. So just like Willie said, he mentioned the things.
Us riding around, scared to get pulled over by the cops. Us living in our own neighborhoods, getting robbed by our own people. Right? Going to the government for everything. That's cursed in the city. That's our people. Read.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shall thou be in the field. So Willie answered the city. I want to know what you think cursed in the field is. How was the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans cursed in the field?
Just the things that they do. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's do it like this. Historically, when was the so-called black people, cursed in a field?
You mean like biblically?
Historically. We don't have to go to biblical times. Think about, just go a few years, I say a few years back, because it wasn't that long ago. Let's take it back to the 1800s, 1700s. What kind of condition were we in the 1600s?
Bad.
What were we doing? What were we?
What, in the fields? And,
cursed in the field doing what?
Picking cotton.
Doing what?
Picking cotton.
Doing what?
Picking cotton.
That's cursed in the field.
Yeah.
That's what we were. Our sign's not big enough, but we have signs to show that's what happened to us.
Right.
That's a curse. That's our history that a lot of our people want to neglect. Our people were cursed in a field. We the ones that pick up not only cotton, tobacco, sugar canes, anything that made them money, which we did build up America. We did. It was all free labor. God says, if you don't keep my commandment, if you don't steal, if you continue to steal, if you continue to commit adultery, if you continue to murder, if you continue to commit idolatry, you're going to be continuing in this same situation. Right? Okay, now, give me verse 45. That's what I want. 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things.
So now, these curses was going to be a sign for us. We're going to go through some more curses. These curses was going to be upon us for a sign and a wonder forever. No, meaning wherever we go, these curses will follow us if we do not keep God's commandments. So, throughout history, we was in Africa, right? A lot of people say that everybody in Africa are the same people. No, we're not the same people. We're fighting against them. They the ones, the real African, the Nilotes, or real Africans, sold us into slavery, right? We dealing with the white man. He continued to sell us in slavery. No matter where we went, we always was in captivity. We always had these curses upon us. And these things are sign for us and no wonder. Verse 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Therefore you what?
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
So with these curses following us everywhere we go, wherever the blacks went, right? Throughout history, God said you're going to serve your enemy, that the Lord going to sin against you. That's why I told Willie, this is of God. This is not no hidden agenda or anything like that. No. Because we broke God's laws and commandments, God said, I'm going to send your enemy against you. Now, he's going to be real specific on who your enemy is. All right? The Bible going to tell you. Let's read.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
So now, we have to go to our enemy, Willie, for in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness. What does that mean? Does anybody have a clue what it means to go to your enemy for hunger, for thirst, and nakedness? What does that mean when God says that? Will you have a clue?
Man, say that again now.
God says you will serve your enemies for hunger, thirst, and nakedness.
Slave, basically.
A what?
That's a slave.
Willie, you on point. It's a slave. Yeah. Now, are we walking around with chains?
Yeah,
Do you?
well,
Hold on now.
We fight psychological.
Okay, now we can go there. We're going to get there. We can get there.
Yeah.
But let's talk about physically. All right? Are we serving our enemies in chains around our necks, walking around like in the 1600s right now?
No.
No, you're not. Right? But I like what you said. Psychologically, we are.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. We mentioned the DEI. So now you're aware of the DEI situation, right? Okay, cool. Now, let's put it like this now. The basic necessities in life is what? What you need?
Need food,
Food.
water, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
For you to get that, what you have to do?
You got to work for it.
You gotta work for it, right?
Yeah.
Now, we can even simplify it like this. The things that you need in life is food, water, and we have to work for it. Man should work, right? The Krogers, the Walmarts, do you own that?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Your people own it?
No.
Willie, your people own it? No, I don't own it.
We
Oh,
got some shares in it though.
huh?
We got some shares in it.
Oh yeah, we got some cereal. You said cereal?
Because we got some shares in it. Like,
Oh, shares. Oh, you can invest in. You can do some investing. Yeah, there's no problem with that. But do you own it? Can you expand it? Can you stop it if you want to? Can you close it down whenever you want to? Can you open it back up whenever you want to? Can you specifically use that resource to help your people in the communities? No, you can't.
we can develop our own though. But
It sounds good, Willie.
We just so,
Willie, that sounds
so
great.
divided though.
We are what?
So divided.
And
man.
then not only that, Willie, don't think that you're the first person to think that.
Oh, I know.
Okay? This been going on years.
I know.
Right? That's why we had the Malcolm X's. That's why we had the Martin Luther Kings. That's why we had the Marcus Garveys. So what you thinking is nothing new, but we were never able to succeed in that because God said, I will send your enemies to you. I want you in this state so you can learn to come back to me. Let's keep on reading.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things. He said you have to serve your enemies for want of all things. You know what one of all things is? One of all things is education. You go to their schools and learn their curriculum. Let's say we got an HBCU. Is that our curriculum that we're teaching our children? No.
But most HBCUs not even founded by like black people.
Dang, Willie, you know a little bit about a little bit. A little bit about everything. Willie, you know a little something.
But I'm gonna tell you this though.
Go ahead,
you know what?
Willie.
When you talk about education, American education, a lot of people don't even know where the whole curriculum come from in America.
Really?
Like it was originated by I think Horace Mann, white guy.
Now, I don't know the specific curriculum, but go ahead.
Nah, the whole school system, man. When it comes to like next level thinking and critical thinking,
Yep.
we should know this because that type of thinking gonna help us advance, you know.
Right. On that point, on that note, like for instance, the colleges in Atlanta, the HBCUs. Most HBCU, mostly every HBCU was started by a white man. These are their institutes, handed down to us, but that was their establishment. So education, right? Medicine, we have to go for them for one of all things, right? Do you know any black people who are approving, stamping medicine to be dished out to the world?
No, not.
You hear about Dr. Fauci, right?
I heard about it. Yeah.
You know about Dr. Fauci? Is there any black Dr. Fauci's? No? None of that. We go to them for everything.
We had Dr. Sabi, you know what I'm saying?
What they do to he?
I got a chance to meet him before he died.
Oh yeah? That's dope. But what did they do to him? Well, it's a conspiracy, but
Yeah, it is.
you ask me, they killed the man. Alright? That's just me. But, yes, Dr. Sabi, but we can't have anything. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, until he have destroyed thee.
Now, back to what Willie was saying. So then, again, I asked you, are we walking around in chains and everything, right? No, we're not. But God says, read it again, that part.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Stop. Yoke of iron upon thy neck. All right? The yoke of iron goes into slavery. That's what happened to our people. That's the greatest history that we have. That is a great history because that shows us who we are. In the Bible, it was prophesied that we was going to be in slavery and bondage with yokes of iron around our necks. But read that last part.
Until he hath destroyed thee.
Now, the Bible says, God says, you will be in slavery until, you will be in chains, I should say, until you are destroyed. Meaning, I will take them chains off of you until you are destroyed. So what does that say about us today? What that say? Because we're not walking around in chains, but you mentioned, Willie, psychologically, damn, we want to come together, but we so divided. We wanna adopt the Savior, but we can't get it together. We are destroyed as a people, destroyed spiritually. Right. We don't know our identity. We don't know where we come from. But we'll go around talking about black kings. We the ones. We them people. We the originals. Original what? Yeah. Who are we? Where we come from? Verse 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So here's another curse. So we're going through curses, as y'all can see, right? We're showing who you are in the Bible. Easily going through the Bible, right? Showing the curses. Now, here's one of them. Here's another one. Read that part again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So now, Moses saying, I'm going to bring your people into Egypt again with ships. A lot of people don't understand what that means. Egypt is synonymous with bondage, slavery. Let's show you that, because the Israelites, if you don't remember the history, if you don't know the history about Moses, what did Moses do? Who knows? Who remember their Sunday school? They ain't teach y'all nothing in Sunday school. Who remember when they were a child, their mama ever talked to them, or their grandma ever talked to them about Moses? What did Moses do?
I remember, man, there's so much stuff I done read.
Okay, all right.
I know, like, he walked through the desert, like, you know, something like, I done kind of forgot a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't have a clue right now?
Yeah, it kind of messed me up.
Young man, you got a clue what Moses did? Okay, that's fine. Yeah. All right, we're going to go to Exodus 20. Now, Moses, the history on Moses is he freed the Israelites from the Egyptians. Now, y'all remember the departed the sea, the Red Sea?
Right. Yeah.
He was doing that for Israel because the Egyptians were coming after the Israelites. Remember, Israelites are black people too. Okay? Right. So now, that's what happened. So now, Moses saved us from Egypt, from bondage. Let my people go. Right?
Right.
Okay, now, read that part. Read that. Show you what Egypt is. Exodus 20.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 2.
Uh-huh.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
What is Egypt?
The house of bondage.
What is Egypt?
The house of bondage.
Egypt is house of bondage. Go ahead, Will. What you got?
So, what book in the Bible does it speak on Moses freeing the Israelites?
That is Exodus. You start at Exodus chapter 1. Exodus.
The movement of the people, huh?
What does Exodus mean?
Yeah, it's a movement of the people, right?
Not movement of the people, but it's synonymous with the exiting, or like getting out, or
okay.
Huh? Coming out of.
Kind of like, yeah. It's kind
That's
of equivalent to the same.
That's what the book of Exodus talks about. It's talking about his people, Israelites, being freed from the Egyptians. So start at chapter 1, Exodus chapter 1. You read about the history of your people.
This is the thing, I ain't trying to cut you off. I read like half of the Bible. I mean, you know, actually, I grew up in the church a long time, but I know this ain't got nothing to do with it. But, so I read, like, a lot of the Bible, but I kind of got away from it.
Okay.
And, Genesis and all of that stuff, man.
Hey, listen. Bible's a good book. You should read sometime.
But this,
we're going to show you.
This is my only thing, though, man. Like, when it comes down to the Bible, it's like the Bible we got. Like, that's the King James Version of it?
It is, 1611.
And Christianity, a lot of people say, because I get into like conversations all the time, they be like, Christianity ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. Mm-hmm. But that's the book that they reference to though, right? That's the book that they use.
Right.
So it's kind of like an owner's manual in your car. Like when you buy a truck or a car, you're going to have an owner's manual in it.
Okay. Right.
And my thing was like, Christianity originated in Rome by the Emperor Constantine.
Willie, you know a little something.
Like, what does it have to do with us?
Okay. Understood. All right. So now, what we're reading is out of the Bible. You read about your history. I'm telling you, this is your history, your history, your history. But like you said, out of nowhere, Christianity came about in Rome, right? How did this happen? Something ain't making sense, right? Okay, so a lot of history done happened. I want to finish Deuteronomy 28. Let me finish Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, and then I'm going to show you in process of time what happened to our people. Let me do it like that. Then I'm going to ask you a question, all right? Let's finish verse 68. I don't want to steer away from that. And then we'll go back to answer your question.
So
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
So now, God says, I'm going to send you to bondage, slavery. Remember, Egypt means slavery, right?
Right.
He said, this time, though, I'm going to do it by ships. Now, young man, who on earth in history went through slavery on ships?
I don't even know.
You don't know?
Man,
it was. Something ain't right. Something ain't right.
You know,
They took it out. I know. Social engineering. Now, that's fine. That's what we hear. We were put in slavery through
black
ships.
Yeah.
That's how we got over here. The majority of the black people got over here through slavery ships, slave ships.
Right.
That's what happened to us. Read that part again.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again.
No, the first part.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With ships. We were going to slavery through ships. So you see that, Willie, this is our history book. This is our book. This is prophesied thousands of years ago what was going to happen to us. Read.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Like he said it, read.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
That's talking about Egypt, read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
Now, Willie, when we got off the slave ships, right? It says that you are going to be sold as slave men and slave women. Where did that happen?
You mean like in the States?
Where?
In the States?
In the United States, in Europe, in South America, through all these lands, we were sold unto our enemies. Read.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
So our people were sold as bondmen and bondwomen. Read.
And no man shall buy you.
Nobody will redeem us, meaning what? We'll still be in that same place where you were dropped off and sold as slaves. No matter what happened, no matter how long it will take, you'll still be in the same predicament as you in as slaves. That's historically, and that's prophecy from the Bible. So showing you that you guys are God's chosen people. Y'all are the Israelites according to the Bible.
Right.
What is a nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family.